Hey guys, before we proceed, this is the event where you can farm Lotta and her SR weapon for free. So take note that this is ending on December 25th. If you haven't finished farming Lotta now, please do, because you will be, missing a lot of things if you don't finish farming for her. Okay guys, we'll start off with her skills and with her basic attack. So this one is Heartfelt Confession. Selects one enemy target within 6 tiles and deals physical damage equal to 80% of attack to them. Next up is going to be Crier Round. So this is an active skill, AoE debuff, cover destruction, and dishes out freeze damage. So selects one direction and deals AoE freeze damage equal to 60% of the attack to all enemies targets within 3x5 area in the selected direction, destroying any destructible cover outside a 3x3 area around the unit. Additionally, applies Cold Snap to targets for 2 turns. Also guys, take note that if you switch around some of the skills in your Helix, this skill, Cryo Rounds, will have knockback. So before you go into a mission, please make sure that you are equipped with the right Neural Helix keys, because you might be needing that knockback ability for your cryo rounds. Next up is going to be Neural Adjustment. This is an active buff, so fills Confectance Index, meaning it is in full tank, and gains attack up for 2 turns. Basically, this started as attack 1, but I already have fortifications for her, so this is now at attack up 2. Okay, and also take note for the previous skill, this one is also at fortification, at max fortification. That is why the upgrade details, the Cold Snap is actually increased by 1 turn. So that is just a note for you guys, because again, she is free, and you can't turn down a free unit because she is fantastic as well. So again, Neural Adjustment, it's a buff, fills your Confectance Index, gains attack up for 2 turns, attack up 2 for 2 turns. Next up is her ultimate skill. It's an AoE debuff. Okay, this one is already at level 3 because I already opened level 2 and level 3 add-ons as part of her fortification. This one does stability damage 2. Select one tile within 6 tiles of the user to launch an attack, dealing AoE freeze damage equal to 100% of attack to it and all enemy targets within 3 tiles. That ignores cover damage reduction. If it hits 2 or more targets, gain extra command. If phase weakness is exploited, apply Cold Snap for the target to the target for 1 turn. Okay, this is a nice AoE for an ultimate because it provides really multiple attacks to a couple of enemies. But guys, take note that this one costs a 4 Confectance cost. Okay, and the first skill is costing you 2. First active skill costing you 2. In between usage of skills, again, you do have to make sure that you use the active buffs so that you could fill your Confectance Index again. She is really best, guys, played in manual. I tell you, I kid you not, because she is more strategic in using her skills. There is usually a sequence, and she has a lot of utility in her kit that is actually very beneficial to if you're doing knockback, if you're destroying cover. She is going to be perfect. She's going to fill a perfect role on your team. Okay, the last skill is a passive skill, so it's a support skill. Details increase mobility by 1 point when an enemy target within range is affected by Cold Snap. Performs 1 instance of wise support, dealing AoE physical damage to 50% of attack and 2 points of stability damage to them. This can be triggered up to 2 times per turn. Take note that when you're using Lotta, she will not deal the best damage, but she will do a lot of things like getting a lot, or taking more stability points off your enemies. Again, support, cold snap. For cryo rounds, if you include knockback, there's knockback here. There's also cover, the destructible. You can actually destroy cover here, and more or less she will do those for you. But again, you will need to use manual to fully maximize her skills, and more or less to have her effect felt on the battlefield. Okay, now for her weapon choices. Okay, first up, or first option, which is going to be best for her in terms of damage, is M1 Super 90. So for every 1 point of Confectance Index consumed, because she is a heavy Confectance Index consumer, increases damage dealt by 10% up to 20%. That's for each point of Confectance Index consumed. Take note, so this gun is a damage modifier. So I'll explain to you the differences of all the guns we're going to be talking about, and we're off to the next one. Okay, so this one is Heartseeker. This one is a weapon of Vepli. Let's check out the special effects. So this one deals additional damage, fixed damage equal to 10% of the attack each time an active skill deals damage to the targets with movement debuff. So this one plays to movement debuff. So if there is a movement debuff, the damage is increased by 10%. When taking targeted damage, if attacker has movement debuffs, applies damage reduction to them for 1 turn before damage is dealt. This can only be triggered once per turn. Trait is also here, so it's quick barrier. Targeted damage taken reduced by 60%, effective only once, and considered a buff. And there's an imprint boost here, which only applies to Vepli. So this shotgun is probably my third option among the three, and we'll go to the third choice that we have. Okay, so for our third choice, we do have Expeditionary Pigeon, which is actually my recommendation. This shotgun is playing towards stability damage or stability loss. So if a target is at max stability or is exposed, increase the damage it takes by 15%. When dealing damage, apply stability loss to the target for 1 turn. So this one is stability damage taken is increased by 1 point. This one is going to be a very tactical gun because it helps your team if you apply stability loss, and if your team contributes into the damage, all of their attacks will if they have stability damage, it could add to 1 point addition of damage to stability damage to a boss or to an enemy. So again, this one has quick barrier as well. So for her fortification, since she is free, the expectation is you'll be getting all 6 segments here, or vertebrae, or V. Okay, so what are the most important fortifications, and which ones, should you focus on, just in case you can't get all 6? Okay, so segment 1 is going to be, if phase weakness is exploited, apply cold snap to the target for 1 turn. But phase 2 or segment 2 is increased mobility of self by 1 point. This is the first step in terms of, having her improve, because if you're playing her as as an operative or as a character that can knock back, that can destroy targets, she needs to be at an area more quicker. So the additional mobility helps her a lot. For segments 3, so select enemy target to select tile. So this is just a small change for your amplified courage. By the way, this one is part of Bonds of Friendship in terms of the mobility increase. For segment 4, the Bonds of Friendship has another increase. So stability damage dealt by Y support is increased by 1 point. This one is a nice add-on, especially again if you're using her as more of a stability damage dealer. This one is going to be along, give you another boost to stability damage. So this is another important stopping point in terms of the upgrade of her fortification. Okay, so we have important segments would be 2 and 4. Moving on to segment 5. This is for your cryo round. So increase the duration of cold snap by 1 turn. This is an add-on just by 1 turn for the duration. And the last segment, obviously this is going to be a must-have. Replaces attack up 1 with attack up 2. This is a decrease of 5%. And this is a nice add-on, despite it's only 5%. But again, 5% is 5%. So the must-have segments, in case you cannot have all of her copies, is going to be segment 2, segment 4, and the last would be segment 6. Okay, so for her Euro Helix, we do have some keys that are priority to be equipped with her. There are 2 sets that I would recommend that you combine, depending on the situation that you are in. The 4 keys, we're gonna be talking about 4 keys, not 3, to be used. So the first one is going to be your mainstay, which is Silent Cheer. At the start of the battle, gains 3 points of Confectance Index. You really need this, guys, because again, she's heavy on Confectance Index. Number 2 is going to be Confidence Booster. Increase damage dealt to enemy targets with freeze debuffs by 10%. So this is a damage multiplier. And the third one, which if you're going to use all 3, is going to be built more for damage. So this one is Trembling Aim. If freezing damage is dealt, applies Frozen to the target for 2 turns. So this is your first set that you are going to be using. Just in case if you're going for a more control keys, you need to take out Trembling Aim and replace it with Bold Shout. So add a new effect to active skill cryo rounds, knock back the target by 3 tiles. So take note that you can you can switch her up in terms of her role if she's a damage dealer, or if she is going to be a utility operative, or if she is a utility doll among the members of your team. So those are the 4. Again, I'd like to show you how you're gonna be switching it. So right now you're in the damage build here. This one, the Confidence Booster, you have, if you want to change this and replace it to this one, the Bold Shout, you can actually change that. This one turns your Lotta in terms of into a utility doll, in terms of a damage oriented doll. So for the ideal team composition for Lotta, basically the formula would be 1 support and 2 DPS. So for the support, we will start off with Sumi. Of course, both of them have freeze damage, and both of them can complement each other really when they're on the field. Best support for Lotta, if you have her, please use Sumi. Next option is going to be Kisana. So Kisana, heal and stability regen and buff as well. If you don't have Sumi, she is one of our best supports, together with Cheetah. Cheetah, of course, is free because we got her from launch. So again, for me, she's second best healer after Sumi, but definitely consider her random debuff and assist as well. The third option is the fourth option, sorry, is going to be Kolfni. So heal and stability regen and assist as well. So those are the 4 supports. As for the DPS, I do have Groza for you guys, because if you're going to accompany Lotta, you need a Bulwark with her, and Groza works well because of the defense and the counter attack that she gives. Okay, also we're going with Tololo because Tololo is one of our top DPS. Single target burst and the extra action is really nice, especially when you start out the battle. Okay, and the third option would be Nemesis. So Nemesis is your long range option, so single target damage, and also has assist. A solid sniper to have on your roster. The other options that I don't have is going to be Sabrina. If you do have Sabrina, she is actually free in the boss event that we have as a permanent content in the game. So if you want to replace Groza with Sabrina, definitely go for it. Also, Ulred is a nice addition to the team. And Mosin Nagant is also a nice addition. So those are your choices because the others I don't have at this point. As far as my thoughts with regards to Lotta, I think she excels well more in a role that you could exploit knockback, you could exploit destroying barriers, you could exploit more stability damage. Those are the three key areas that she is actually strong at. The debuff is just going to be second, not the debuff. The damage is just going to be secondary. So build her right, build her according to what you need, and build her according especially to the terrain or the boss that you will be encountering. So thank you very much, guys. Again, comment down in the comment section what do you think, and also please do subscribe to my channel if you feel that this video is informative to you. Also, don't forget to put a like. So thank you very much for staying this far. Take care, stay safe. This is the Warden, and I'm out of here.